What's going on, Moon Gang? Welcome back to another Dumb Money Wrap-Up for today, Wednesday, November 10th. In this particular video, we'll be talking about the newest inflation report and how that's having a negative impact on a lot of equities. We'll be talking about crypto and all the new all-time highs. Then we'll be diving into AMC and the reports of Aron, the CEO, selling some of his stock and what it truly means. We'll be touching a little bit on the Rivian IPO. And then finally, we'll be wrapping it up with the absolute dumpster fire that is Robinhood. Let's get into it. So before the market opened today, we got the Consumer Price Index, CPI, information. U.S. consumer prices jumped 6.2% in October, the biggest inflation surge in more than 30 years. The Consumer Price Index surged 6.2% from a year ago in October, the most since December 1990. Now, if that's not sending off some red flags in your head, I don't know what will. Core inflation, stripping out food and energy, increased 4.6%, the fastest gain since August 1991, and here's where it really gets interesting. Energy, shelter, and vehicle costs led the gains, which more than wiped out the wage increases that workers received for the month. So I want to talk about the Fed and government right here. So the government saying, hey, we get things are more expensive, but you're also being paid more, so it should be okay. The issue is the menial gain in payment is not as much as the cost increase in everything else. So is it true that labor is being paid more? Yes, but not to the same degree that things are way more expensive. And 1991, 1990, these numbers are serious. How do we get here? Well, that's because of the Federal Reserve. Starting with pandemic in March of 2020, they're like, hey, we need to backstop it. Let's buy everything we possibly can. And they basically just shoved trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars into the system. And right now we're in the scenario where they're trying to kind of undo it. They have started the process of tapering, but it's becoming one of those situations where they've been so focused on the unemployment that they're putting money into the system to backstop it all, that right now there's so much money in the system that it devalues it. We're seeing extreme inflation, and fingers crossed it doesn't become hyperinflation, but it's definitely something to consider. And I mean, these numbers are getting to the point where they are notably serious, and that's exactly why we're starting to see this dip in the overall market. Now, I want to make it explicitly clear that I'm not calling for doomsday. I'm not saying this is done, whoa, panic. I don't think fear mongering is ever helpful, because remember, before the market closed last week, we did hit a new all-time high, but it's also reasonable that, okay, we hit a new high. Technically, things are a bit hot. Now inflation's a bit hot. It makes complete sense that we're taking a dip. It obviously makes sense. Why would we keep going higher when it's technically overextended and we got some negative reports relating to inflation? S&P 500 today dropped 0.8%. The next major support I'll be paying attention to is around just south of 460. And if things get a little bit more, worrisome, let's put it, then I'll be paying attention to these three individual gap fills. Once again, this is all for the S&P 500. It's a basket of 500 of the biggest companies within the US. So a little bit more tech heavy, once again, recently hit a new all-time high. Same thing. I mean, all the major indices are going to have this similar chart shape to them. So I'm looking at the support around 382, 384, Russell 2000. Same thing. Instead of hitting the all-time high on Friday, it hit it on Monday, but still starting to come back down. And I'm seeing if it can find support at 234.5. So overall, this makes sense. The charts, the markets have been technically overextended. Many of them just hit a new all-time high. So it's it's very reasonable to think that there's going to be some sort of reversion. And right now, with the inflation coming in a bit too hot, people are starting to get a little bit concerned about that. But it does lead to gains in other sectors. So with inflation, people are saying, well, hang on, if my USD is being devalued, I'm hearing about this thing called cryptocurrency that's a better store of value. Well, ding, ding, ding. BTC, Bitcoin, digital gold hit a new all-time high of 69,000. Ethereum, literally the world's biggest utility coin, hit a new all-time high just below 4,900. Litecoin had a very nice run recently. It went from $200 to almost 350% gain right there. And the one that's been turning a lot of heads lately is Loopring. Just so you know, I want to be completely transparent. I'm involved in all 4 of them. I have a long position on all of them. Loopring has had incredible gains lately. This particular blockchain, it's going to be most related to Ethereum. It's more of a layer 2 solution for decentralized exchanges. So at first it was built to be agnostic, but right now in August of 2021, it does seem to be favoriting Ethereum, because in August they talked about how we're going to be supporting NFTs, particularly Ethereum-based NFTs. So it's all about marketplaces, exchanges. And with Loopring, I do view it to be a quasi investment into GameStop, because right now the rumor, if you're going to trust the rumor mill, is all about how GameStop is attempting to positively improve the trajectory of the company by getting involved in NFTs with an NFT marketplace. And the rumor is that Loopring will be the blockchain technology that's going to make that a reality. And to me, it makes a lot of sense. Loopring is known for decentralized exchanges, aka marketplaces, and specifically with NFTs. In August of 2021, when Loopring, the team, did its update, they said, yeah, no, we are going to be supporting Ethereum-based NFTs. So I think this is getting a lot of enthusiasm behind it, and it almost took out $4 today, currently trading at $3 as I'm filming this live. Speaking of our other moon stock, here's AMC. Good morning, not so good afternoon. As I'm filming this, currently trading at 36.54. Today we did hit a high of almost 41. GameStop, just so you know, hit 207, currently trading at 198 in after hours. So some of this negative reaction right here is actually because of this headline. AMC CEO Aron sold $25 million in shares on Tuesday after warning meme investors he would do so. So I don't know why people are reacting in this bearish manner when we know it. For the past 2 earnings announcements, Aron has pointed out that he's 67 and due to proper estate planning, he will be selling a portion of his shares. But in the most recent earnings announcement, which occurred on Monday, the 8th, I believe, he said, hey, I'm still going to keep 2 million shares. So it's not like he's completely divesting his AMC investment. He's just saying, I'm 67. I have to do something a little bit reasonable with my money. So if we dive into it a bit more of why I think before I was talking about the market and fear mongering, I think that's exactly what's going on with people who are anti-AMC right now. So let's dive into some of the facts. This is a form that when you have insider selling, you have to register that with the SEC. So on the 9th right here, he had some 625,000. But if you see this, it's a 10b5-1. And before we get into it, what a 10b5-1 is, I want to dive into a little bit more information in terms of SEC filings. This is the form 144. So once again, he is registering these shares, the 1.25 million shares. It's all through a 10b5-1. I just wanted to bring both up, but this is how you get to the numbers that everyone's talking about. Both of these can be found on the SEC website. I just wanted to remind everyone about what this specifically is. A 10b5-1 allows company insiders, such as Aron at AMC, to set up a predetermined plan to sell company stock in accordance with insider trading laws. The price, amount, and sales dates must be specified in advance, determined by a formula or metrics. So right here, it's not like he saw the price and this is where the top is going to be. You got to get out. No. This is predetermined. On the earnings call, he said the sale will occur over 3 individual months, unique months, and it's not like he's sitting there and saying, oh, this is the top, I got to get out. This is predetermined by a person who's not even him. If you see in the filing right here, I think his lawyer, attorney, in fact, Edwin, this could be the guy, but he's not even the one in the driver's seat of this. I just want to make that explicitly clear. And also remember, 1 million shares. I mean, AMC today alone traded 31 million. Yesterday, the day before, we were exceeding 50 million. It's not a drop in the bucket, but it's kind of a drop in the bucket. It's not like it's exclusively his actions are the one driving it down. If anything, it's the news and the headlines and the reports that are freaking people out about they don't know what's actually going on. But what you have to remember, Aron, 67, he's been calling out that he has to do this for the past 2 quarters. So we're talking about the past half year. He's saying, guys, I got to get out of some, but he will still be keeping 2 million of those shares. Other interesting news today was the new EV kid on the block, Rivian. One, it's the year's biggest IPO and actually a record-setting IPO. So what you need to know about Rivian, it's in the world of EV. It started in 2009 with an MIT brainiac. He wanted to make EV sports cars, but he didn't think he could compete with Elon. So he made more adventure-based cars. So here's the R1T. It's a truck starting at $67,000. The R1S, more of an SUV starting at $70,000. And on top of that, they also have delivery vans. Think of the Amazon like last mile delivery in a certain way, probably competitive with the likes of something such as Workhorse. But I wanted to bring up Amazon because Amazon's actually 22% owner of Rivian, which since it IPO today means they made a lot of money. Also, Ford, another EV competitor, owns 12% of Rivian, who also made a buttload of money today. In fact, they IPO'd around $67 billion, and then they were attempting to raise 10. They ended up raising 11.9. So fully vested, that's bringing it into the realm of 77 billion. But as you're going to see, I mean, you can see it up here, like for the people who are looking ahead, trading at $100, the IPO price was 78. So that means they made even more money. Rivian valued at over 100 billion in debut after world's biggest IPO of 2021. The biggest previous one in the US, I think, was Facebook back in 2012. This thing is potentially a top 5 IPO ever in the US market. A lot of money to be made in this one. So anyway, as I was alluding to, the cap coming in, the market cap for RIVN, which is the ticker symbol for Rivian, 100 bill. I mean, we were talking about 77-ish bill fully diluted at 78. And then when you open up at, what was this, 106, that's a 35%, 36% gap right there. And then we ran all the way up to 120. Now, if you were listening on the live stream and what I've been talking about, I tend to avoid IPOs, not because I dislike the company. In fact, if this continues to dip, I'll probably just buy more. Right now, I have no position. And it's just because the nature of IPOs, there's a lot of enthusiasm. And right here, I mean, we gapped up by 36% and then continued to run. And generally, that type of enthusiasm is not sustainable. And that's exactly what we saw. I will let everyone know when I finally invest into this company. I am bullish on it. I like US EV plays. I think being in that adventure EV based part of the market is a unique play. I think the leadership team is interesting. I like the Amazon order. They have 100,000 last mile delivery that will be given to them by 2030. They're going to put that order in. I just like it. I think it's a good play. But right now, in terms of what's a good price to get at, I think it's just a little pricey right now, and we're kind of seeing that reflected. It's just the enthusiasm could not be sustained, but I'm bullish on it. I'll let you know when I see an opportunity, at least for me to personally get into RIVN. And the final thing I want to talk about is the absolute dumpster fire that is Robinhood. Robinhood crypto CEO, the idea of meme investing needs a little bit of an attitude adjustment. Now, if you listen to it, it's a little bit clickbaity, but if you listen to it, she's saying, hey, the way meme traders, investors are perceived is not good. They have a lot of information. And I went on a complete rant about this today. They're just backpedaling. They know that the PR situation as it relates to Robinhood is not a good one. It's funny to me that in November of 2021, you have a head at a company saying, hey, no, they have a lot of information. Their trades and their ideas should be respected, but apparently not respected so much that when we all get it right on GameStop in January, they got to take away the buy button. I do find that interesting. And then it leads you to believe, well, hang on, why are they being nice now? Like what's going on? What's going on in the background that they feel like they have to somehow, placate the retail trading and investing audience? And it's because of this. So on Monday of this week, the 8th, there was the first murmurs in the reports of Robinhood getting hacked, and we now have more information. Robinhood hackers access internal tool for removing account security features. Screenshots show this was reported by Vice. But the thing I wanted to particularly bring up to you was they pulled all of this off by using an internal tool, and it was all social hacking. So basically, some customer rep at Robinhood got tricked. Hackers socially engineered a customer service representative. So it's another thing that Robinhood, as a company, It's their fault. They were socially engineered. This wasn't some weird brute force attack like a Mr. Robot style thing. This was a social engineered thing. Someone who worked there got talked into, I guess, handing over the keys to an internal tool that gave them a kind of like access to the kingdom, and millions of people, their data got exposed, and a smaller amount, an extreme amount of their data got exposed. Email addresses of 5 million people, the full names of 2,310,000 were more highly personal information. Right there with Robinhood. I was talking about this a little bit previously. It's just, I was upset to learn not too long ago, Kathy Wood at ARK Invest bought more, almost 500,000 more. And I was, how? I just don't get it. Two different pillars. The public is against Robinhood. We don't like how Robinhood treats us. I think fairly think that they lie quite a bit. On top of that, their business model, even if you don't care about the social aspect, the business model, if there's not some crazy crypto, well, a lot of their other revenue is just payment for order flow, which is a business model that's actively being looked at by Gary Gensler at the SEC right now. It's being put on the chopping block potentially. Literally just yesterday, the EU announced that they're banning payment for order flow. This is a company that's barely hanging on. They hemorrhaged $1.3 billion last quarter. They are operating at a massive loss, and unless there's some insane black swan event such as Doge, such as GameStop, that's how they survived 2 of the previous quarters. But now if there's not something insane happening, I just don't see where their money comes from. And then you throw in a little bit of this hacking story, and it's just, this is the most menial attempt to make us be like, oh, I think Robinhood's okay. They just said that we should be respected. What a piss poor attempt, in my humble opinion. Well, that's what I have for everyone today. I would love to get your opinion on any of this stuff. The overall market, crypto hitting new highs, AMC, GME, Aron selling, and we knew it was coming, but of course, mainstream media trying to make it worse than it actually is. Remember, these things were all registered way in advance. We knew it was coming. Rivian IPO, one of the biggest in U.S. market history, and Robinhood being the dumpster fire that Robinhood is. If you have any thoughts, let me know in a comment below. If you enjoy this, if you like these daily update videos, if you can't hang out in all the streams and you like these quick rundowns, let me know. All you have to do is hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. And until I catch you next time, for me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.